Everything's black. What happened to my cameras? That's weird. Oh, there we are. Like, woo! Hello, and welcome to this edition of the Wake and Bake News with your host, Shampoo VTA Kelly Davis. And this is number 19 of the Wake and Bake News. Notes last night. Dang. Okay, so let's load our bowl. Put some in my little jar. Try to keep them separated to control myself. And I'm not a job, but I'm hanging in there. Still, this lovely, lovely Smart OG, I just really am very happy every morning. Should probably not start out with a blurry camera shot of a bud. What is up with you, focus? And what is up with that? I hope these camera manufacturers are watching how we need to put our hand up to get things to focus. You don't want that, you technical engineers out there. Fix that. Alrighty. Oh, I'm looking forward to this. Kind of had a little bit of a, my hot flashes have been, the periods, not that I want, the medical hot flash here on Kelly. The periods of my hot flashes have shortened, so I'll get super sweaty hot flashes, but they won't last like a whole week, when before it was week after week after week, night after night after night. And it was very humid last night, and I think it was just mostly me being just kind of on the edge of hot flashing, and it's so muggy, very muggy in Ventura. You can see outside how gray it looks on the bird cam. Oh, I put the lid on. The lid likes to grab the buds and pull. And my lighter. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy to have. Oh. The best part of waking up, marijuana in your bowl. Okay. I made some notes last night. I wanted to talk about Star Trek. Star Trek, which we have been watching on Netflix or Hulu, one of these two. We've been watching the whole series. First we watched the first, series of Star Trek with Captain Kirk and Spock and everything. And now we're on to Next Generation, which I've seen all of course. I know Next Generation like the back of my hand. Okay, but we've been talking while we're watching this. We're noticing stuff like there's no touch screens. I mean, they have screens, they're flat, and they have some weird button things on them that they go and they push with their hands that I guess you could call a touch screen, but that's not a touch screen, is it? You're not swiping screens, you're not enlarging, you're not reducing, there isn't this almost magical movements that would look like spell casting, right? So there's no touch screens. Okay, that was one of the points we wanted to bring up. Everybody's driving everything. At the very first scene, I guess, or the first episode of Next Generation, Commander Riker is like, all right, now lower the mooring beams. I mean, the ship would do all that by itself. There would not be a need for you to say, you would not need to stop and even notice that the ship is docking. So we're still applying so much of these old technological ways of thinking to this television show. My husband and I are watching Star Trek, and it just occurred to us I was telling him last night, this used to be the most technologically amazing show on television. If you wanted to have some kind of inkling of what the future was like, you go to Star Trek. You can even see guys in the first few episodes walking in the background, they're wearing skirts, and you go, some transgender action in the background. So Star Trek was the pinnacle of, the idea of what science fiction was and everything like that in our future. But now in 2015, I'm thinking, oh, we need a new Star Trek. We need a new wagon train in space, because there's so many more stories now that need to be told, and in a different way. Another thing I noticed they don't have is GoPros. Here's Captain Picard going, describe to us the scene. We can't see what's happening. And I went, why not? Everyone on Earth can see what's happening now. If Jesus returns, everyone will have it on a freaking camera. It'll be on YouTube like that. The entire world will know. So in a way, I guess the Bible was correct. Everyone's gonna know. I always wondered how that would be possible. Well, because everybody's going to have it on their camera. If aliens come, it's going to be the same thing. They're going to be holding cameras up. Get a picture of that. I'm wearing my Mustache Guy t-shirt today with the various male mustaches. I'm a big fan of facial hair. I always liked, sideburns and stuff when I was a kid. I always thought those were really cool. In the 70s, facial hair was very popular. Anyway, so Star Trek. We need a new Star Trek series. It needs to be updated. It needs to have robots. It needs to have self-driving spaceships. It needs to have, a concept of conflict which is going to be modern and not kind of like we're going to fight each other. So and there's a lot of other issues too, like nowhere do they ever mention really sex, like intercourse, like how do these people relieve themselves? Is there a bar? I mean, there was a bar, but I didn't see there was a strip club. Is the holodeck the strip club? We always kind of had suspicion that the holodeck had to be mopped up a lot, So we're curious. We want to see a new Star Trek. Watching this series just made us realize, holy crap, there needs to be a new Star Trek series that's up to date, that's going to go towards 2030, 2060. Talking about what our future is, not based in 1960, but based in 1990, 2000, 2020, I keep saying we need mythos about the future. We need some kind of mythos to help us to see ourselves in the future, because visualization is a powerful tool to conquering problems. The cavemen went to this cave in Lascaux. I think it's called Lascaux in France. It's 3 miles deep. They crawled down in this dark ass hole, wet, mucky hole in the earth, and dragged their teenage boys down there. And they would do these cave paintings, by torchlight of animals with chalk and different things to do the colors and stuff. And you know what they did? They threw spears at them. It was a shooting gallery. They built themselves a shooting gallery down there because they had to practice killing these creatures that they were fucking terrified of. Excuse my language. So they'd hug these spears. So if you go to Lascaux, I don't know how to pronounce it, but if you go there, you can go if they'll allow you, because your breath screws up the cave paintings. But if you get to see them, you'll see there's chunks taken out of the paintings because they were hucking a spear, man. Visualization, seeing yourself in a better future, is a very powerful way to achieve that goal. Some people used to call it magic. Okay. So let's get to the news. I closed all my windows so that we would not have crashy problems. I did not have crashy problems yesterday. I think maybe it was all the gifts going was too much for my. Oh, I get a message. Let's see. I've been getting a lot of messages on the video I posted yesterday. Yep, same one. We're going to talk about it. These idiots were not aware there was a camera. Oh, Inspector Lestrade, that's what I said. And I've gotten a lot of comments, thumbs up on that. But really, what this guy says is very important about, and I'm going to talk more about this video. Cannabis club owners, you must hide cameras and have video recording 24/7 to an off-site, e.g. to another location via the web. And I agree with them. Obviously, this is a fishing net now. You're going to be able to capture inappropriate behavior because there's obviously hubris at work, and the fish are in the net, you know. So we'll talk about this video some more. But I've been getting a lot of, you know, how could they not know there was a camera there? And that's the first stupid thing. And then the things they were doing were illegal. So they're not even competent crooks. They're not even competent criminals. Oh, Doctor Who. Okay, don't get distracted. Ooh, doo, 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 doo. Time travel. Time travel. I always wanted my own spaceship, time travel machine, something you could cruise around the galaxy. Not what everybody hopes a spaceship will come down and make friends with them. Take me away, Calgon. All right, so police raid dispenser, then eat marijuana edibles on camera. That's the headline that I put for this video, which is Santa Ana pot shop raid sparks investigation. Okay, so this is a video that I posted yesterday. My husband and I looked more closely at it, and he was really shocked. He was like, that should just be those criminal. Those guys are criminals. This is criminal behavior. Oh, boy. Santa Ana police officers caught on camera eating marijuana, joking about kicking an amputee. Can we break some fucking cameras and make the boss happy? Santa Ana, California. Surveillance video shows a raid conducted by Santa Ana police officers at an unlicensed marijuana dispensary last month. The edited video shows officers telling everyone to get on the ground. It also shows officers removing surveillance equipment, but the lawyer for the dispensary says hidden cameras caught much more, including officers eating medical edibles and joking about kicking an amputee. Did you punch that one-legged old Benita? One officer says to a female officer. And the female officer says, I was about to kick her in her fucking nub. Female officer replied. I'd like to stop right there because if you actually watch that scene, you can see the psychology happening there. Those male officers are voting at a female officer to behave in a way that makes them happy. She's trying to make them happy. She's trying to exist in a male world and act like a male. And when you look at it that way, you can see how, I mean, we can't, I'm sorry, but we can't allow a society where big guys like that just win all the time because it's just making a fucked up world, you know, and then we all have to figure out how to live in it. Like this, I'm not saying he's a good person, but I'm saying there's more going on there, psychology-wise, because you can hear the guy, so did you know, like, look, ain't she tough? We got a tough one on our team. You know, they're like proud of her. They think that's neat. And she's, you know, showing off for them. It's bravado. It's part of that male, you know, I got to be tough and beat on my chest, you know, testosterone waste existence that seems to be going on. I'm seriously need to like medicate it or something. It's disturbing. It's just disturbing. I'm not even like down on dudes and everything. It's just you could hear it, you know. Locker room talk. It's like locker room talk. I had to work with guys like that, and it's very, you know, if you're not tough like they are, you know, they enjoy making you cry. I mean, I work with these particular gentlemen, but I did work with some that were happy to tell me that they put a girl in a squad car, took them off to some kind of big combatant fight, and she curled up and cried. Oh, wasn't that funny? You know, so these guys are weird. They enjoy this. This physical combat, this male dominance with physicalness is something that they really seriously, it's bizarre. They get into it. They think too much with their large muscle groups. And the poor guys, I mean, nobody that behaves like that is long for this world. They'll probably all get in trouble for this, and their bosses will skip off early. And they're the ones that sent them to do it. Okay. How can I respect someone like that? It just makes your stomach turn. Maybe she doesn't know what it's like to have an amputation. I don't know what was going through her head, but man, that was so disrespectful, James said. She now plans to sue the city for the actions of the female officer in the video. It's like watching, you know, your city just blow money on stupid. It's like watching them just blow their brains out with stupid. She'll win. The officer was goaded into bragging that she did this, or she wanted to do this, or this was her intent, and the other officer's intent. She'll win. This is for leadership. You know, these kind of people are just going to exist. They're just going to interact with each other. They're lost, poor, fallen souls. Okay, they're messed up. You can see it. You know, this is my home. You can see it in them. Sorry to make like derp sounds. No offense, handicapped people. So sorry. Anyway, but like they are massively. Oh man, they're messed up. It's their bosses though responsible for this. Ultimately, their bosses are us. When we create these drug laws, we created opportunities for these police officers to become criminals. And that's what these guys are. They're criminals. Okay, so like further on in the video, they're eating the edible marijuana. They're talking about its potency, which one to try. They're playing darts because apparently when they were destroying the cameras, they didn't quite destroy this one, even though you see Mr. Baldy, big muscle guy, go up and, you know, not manage to destroy the camera. And then, of course, the hubris kicks in because they think nobody's watching. Now, you know, drop all facade and the acting, the play acting, and let's be who we really are, which is a bunch of people just robbing you under the color of authority. That's what it is. I told you that one of these days, and there'll be more. If there's this one video, there's going to be more. This could almost become a mousetrap. Set up a dispensary. Put a whole bunch of toys and things that little boys just can't help but want to touch and play with. And then hide some cameras in there. Invite the DEA to come and bust that place. And then let them destroy the fake cameras. And then let them behave like this. I would even introduce something, you know, like just lay out temptations before them because they're obviously incapable of not succumbing to that. And that's the point of this, that you've laid temptation at their feet by giving them too much authority. And now look, it's so sad to see. These guys look like really idiots. I mean, idiots. They look like complete complete idiots. That number one, they look like idiots because they're doing a stupid job. Number two, the way they're doing their job. They all come in with guns blazing or out. Oh, get on the ground. They're not even really that into it because they know how faux this all is. Then all these people kind of look like, oh, all right, you know, get on the ground. They wheel out this lady in a wheelchair carrying all her bags and meds and stuff and whatever that is supposed to be about. I don't know. Who cares? And then that same female police officer is hating on the lady that she just took all her bags and meds, you know, which looks like a lot, but if you watch my show, you know, marijuana burns up kind of fast. Burning even now in there, you know, when I try to put it out, but it don't quite all go all the way out, you know, so joints and stuff, a lot of smoke goes in the air that it burns up, you know. As you can see, this upsets me. This is a prime example of how we've created laws that have totally twisted and deformed our judiciary system and our justice system. It's a disaster. It's an utter disaster. And now we've led these guys into just buffoonery. Is it their fault? Or is it really ours? Because we need to freaking change these laws and take these toys away from these young men so that they can get real jobs that they would feel good about themselves doing instead of whatever this deteriorated into junk, you know, situation that just happened. There's nothing to be proud of. Nothing to be proud of. There's nothing to walk away from, even a little bit, to say, I did a good job. Your tax money at work. I had to get that one off my chest. It was so frustrating. Just to watch that video, you just think, okay, think about how much all those men are getting paid. How much time they're taking to do this. The costumes they're wearing, how much those cost. The gear they're using. I mean, that's not like a normal crowbar. That's like a freaking $50 crowbar, you know. DC politics. Budget bill outlaws pot sales in DC for 2 years. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Here we go again with Congress. This is Congress on everything on earth. No, we stopped the DEA, but then you can't sell marijuana. Oh, there's a really good song in 1776. Adams sings about Congress. We fiddle, twiddle, and something, not one damn thing do we solve. Fiddle, twiddle. Oh, they drive crazy. Useless bunch of humans. House Republicans advanced a budget plan Thursday that would prevent legal sales of marijuana in the district until at least 2070. And what's that going to do for you? 2 years. What's this going to buy you? Exactly. Advocates for legalization, however, call it a victory. What the Republican budget does not do, is to roll back Initiative 71, the voter-approved measure from November that legalized pot for recreational use in the nation's capital. Since early this year, D.C. residents have been allowed to possess, grow, and in the privacy of their own homes, smoke marijuana. Many opportunities remain during the federal budget process for conservatives to target the law, but advocates for legal pot said the fact that an outright ban did not appear to be an early budget priority added to their signs that the GOP controlled Congress may be softening its position to marijuana. I was going to say, 2 years, what's that going to do for you? So you're right. That is a victory. Because in 2 years, are they going to just, and now we'll reinstate that ban? Why? It's legal everywhere else. You know what place it isn't in 2 years? The Last week, a House approved a bipartisan measure to protect states' medical marijuana programs for only the second time. It instructed the Federal Drug Enforcement Administration, those clowns we just saw busting that Santa Ana dispensary. Clowns like that. Clowns. Wow. Not to target states' dispensaries, medical marijuana manufacturing or distribution facilities. The House also told the DEA to leave alone states that allow sales of cannabinoids or CBD oils derived from cannabis plants. House lawmakers also moved to protect production of hemp and for industrial purposes, which is going to be the real win. As much fun as it is to get high, as much fun as all that is, having a world that is filled with hemp is going to be better. And it's going to be one of those things like when those 50s instructional black and white student films. Do you know how important hemp is in your life? Hemp plastic, hemp manufactured cars, hemp driving, cars driving on hemp oil. The tablet that you're working with, the outside is made from a cellulose material from hemp that's made into plastic. Oh, I could just see it endlessly. Schools printed in poor areas out of hempcrete by robots. We can print up a school. Because hempcrete is really this amazing material. So I won't read all this. That makes me happy. See, you go from one oh my God, really story to, oh good, this is happening. Obviously, these things are moving in reaction to this. These people are lawmaking. Okay? I want you to look at this. Even if you're not a pot smoker, if you're not into this, look at this. These people are motivating lawmakers to change laws because of their behavior, because they're obviously incapable of any other behavior. I don't think it's even appropriate to be mad at them, because we created the circumstance under which they can behave this way. It's our fault. It's our fault. We subsidize this behavior. Medical marijuana firm breaks ground before getting licensed. I get on my high horse, ride around. Fall, break an ankle. Medical marijuana firm breaks ground before getting a license. Medical marijuana firm has broken ground in New York before winning state approval. The company's president calls the move in the Hudson Valley an educated leap of faith. Educated leap of faith. In other words, it's probably we're moving even more swiftly toward legalization than what many prohibitionists would feel comfortable talking about. The Times Herald recorded a Middletown report. Officials from Valley agricultures broke ground Thursday on a growing and processing plant in Wallkill, about 70 miles north of New York City. 70 miles. It's not actually that far away. Its president, Eric Pulling, says that while the company is competing with 40 others for 5 state licenses, it needs to get the project moving to get production on the shelves by January. The firm expects a decision from the State Department of Health by next month. Governor Andrew M. Cuomo signed the medical marijuana bill into law last year. The Wallkill Town Board voted 5-0 in April to approve the plan because they obviously want that those jobs. Yes. Plant that here. Yes. Plant that plant. I obviously like dogs. AP photo, marijuana club sprouting up in Uruguay. This is the next thing to talk about. No, I don't think you should have to sit in a restaurant with me if you are not a smoker and inhale my smoke. I'll be honest with you, I don't think that's fair to do to you. But to ask me to avoid the restaurants you're in completely and find the ones that only allow smoking, really? You know, I'm sure there's an accommodation somewhere we can make that things will be reasonable, and you are going to like us pot smokers so much better than those drunks. Trust me. Pretty soon you're going to hear somebody say this. Why are you drinking? Just smoke pot. I don't think it's the same thing. I think alcoholics get something different. I don't know. I don't know much about it. I've seen alcoholics that were pot smokers struggle with alcohol addiction, and the addiction won. It's scary. All right. In this May's 25th, 2015 photo, Alvaro Castro, president of the Manga Rosa Social Club, smoked a joint in the living room of his house, where his has a marijuana club. Oh, thank you for jumping in my face, but I'm not interested in whatever it is you're selling right now. Go away. Okay. Oh, see, this is what happens. This is what happens. You try and try and try to just enjoy something, and there's just so much going on in the page. Too much. It just is jumpy. Okay. To hear Juan Vez tell it, a successful marijuana club in Uruguay is akin to a five-star restaurant. Today we have to wet the palates of club members, said Vaz, a technical advisor of the club Canabico Sativa in Montevideo, the small South American country's capital. We have to introduce them to the world of gourmet cannabis, which is the differentiator in our club. Uruguay's Congress legalized the drug in 2013, and over the last year has steadily implemented various aspects of the law. Late last year, the government began registering growers clubs, which are allowed to cultivate up to 99 plants and can have a maximum of 45 members. The clubs, which are sprouting up around Montevideo, are essentially giant greenhouses where members can grow plants to their liking and, of course, smoke a joint or two to test a harvest. So it's like, wow, it's like when you go to like one of these wine things and then you get to the wine right there overlooking the vineyard. You know, even though I just said negative things about alcohol. So it's kind of like, or you go to some place where they plant the tomatoes and you get to eat a meal there in the beautiful farm setting, high end. Sounds nice. While the laws brought out many smokers into the open, the clubs do have several strict regulations. For example, it's illegal to be a club member and home grower at the same time, or join more than one club. Joining Canabico Sativa requires a $400 enrollment fee and then monthly payments of $92. What the? Wow! Much of that goes to maintaining the equipment needed to grow. Okay, well that makes sense, because if it's like a big grow facility, then you're basically, that's $400 for a grow setup is probably cheap. Depends on how great it is. We have very high quality here, he said, and I'm happy because I get to smoke it. Oh, so that's neat that they're starting to get the clubs there. And this must be what it looks like. $400? You must be paying for security and stuff. Because you sure ain't paying for no windows. But I mean, that's all you need, really. Interesting. Probably paying off people, too. Okay, this is you going away now. You going away. Thanks for joining us. This is you leaving. Breaks ground, photo. Oh, thank you. Mango. Let's see. San Francisco prepares for marijuana legalization. When is this happening? It just happened. It's going to happen. Nope. That's the way to eat a mango. Okay. San Francisco prepares for marijuana legalization. If California legalizes marijuana next year, it remains to be seen whether San Francisco will be prepared. However, a 22-member task force is in the works to formulate the city's strategy. The state voters next year will consider legalization of recreational use of the drug. The Board of Supervisors is expected to vote in support of the task force during the meeting next week. If we don't formulate policies in advance of legalization, we are going to end up with having a chaotic fire drill, said Supervisor Scott Wiener, who proposed the task force. I'm not sure that's it. The board's rules committee unanimously supported it Thursday. Good planning is key here. Terrence Allen, co-founder of California Cannabis Voice, said the task force will answer the difficult questions such where and how people can use the drug. I would love to see this task force bring cannabis into every aspect of our economy. I would love to go to the store and have not one, but 5 choices of cannabis-infused shampoo. He added, you want to get a chocolate volcano cake with cannabis frosting? Here's how you do it legally. The shampoo is not going to get you high, but it's kind of neat. If you put some of your cannabis oil in with your lotion and you use it on your skin, you can definitely see a little bit of how it's healthy. It is healthy, you know. I mean, I haven't had any like miracle facial cures or anything, but it's as good as any of those stupid things you buy at the store that make your skin glow. Let's see what it would do for my hair. Let's see. The task force has a diverse membership. There are 7 non-voting members who serve in an advisory role, including representatives from police, fire, and city planning. The voting members are medical and recreational marijuana users. The members are representative of neighborhoods, groups, restaurants, hotels, small and large businesses, along with medical and recreational marijuana users. The task force is expected to meet at the end of the summer and spend 1 year before reporting back to the board on legal, social, land use, and enforcement issues. Next year's ballot measure for legalizing marijuana is expected to come before voters in other states as well, including Arizona, Maine, Massachusetts, and Nevada. Up, 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 up. What's happening? We're gonna legalize. Oh, my son's here for work. California drought. Odds of an El Nino rising. Let's wait until my son comes in. Hey, babe. How are you? You want a hug? You want some tea? Hungry. Here, I'm doing my thing. I'm almost done. Oh, that mango's really super ripe. Oh, chances of an El Nino bringing a badly needed wet winter to California have gone up, the National Weather Service said Thursday. According to scientists, there's a better than 90% chance the weather pattern often associated with plentiful rain will hit in the fall, and an 85% chance it will hang around through the end of the year. Those predictions are up from May, when science said an El Nino, which involves the warming of tropical waters in the Pacific, had an 80% chance of sticking around into the winter. California had high hopes last year that a strong El Nino would bring rain to break the drought, but early predictions didn't hold. Mike Helpert, Deputy Director of the Weather Service Climate Production Center, said a strong El Nino certainly will be helpful for the drought if it materializes. Certainly if El Nino continues and strengthens, he said, that tilts the odds towards a wetter winter. Now that's good news because we super need that. Plus, Jerry Brown I saw the thing on the Daily Show. Jerry Brown was talking about the spirituality of water. You know, water is so important. It is. And when you don't have it, you do. You're going to really miss it. And you're going to feel this, oh, thank God there's water again. I mean, Survivor on an island, castaway style. We're not that bad yet that we are experiencing the spirituality of water. I agree we should thank water every morning when we stand in the shower. Thank you, water. Thank you for being there. Thank you for being wonderful. But I don't think we should get too far into the spirituality. Jerry. He's so funny. He's such a funny, weird governor. We get the weirdest governors here. That's when he starts going full moonbeam on you. He's so funny. I don't like him. Okay. The California Chalice Festival celebrates hash, glass, and hip-hop. Smell the truth. Can you smell it? Marijuana's dab subculture has become so prevalent to the point of demanding its own annual festival. Chalice, California is steadily becoming the premier competition for marijuana concentrates since opening its doors last year. This year's event promises to be a much grander celebration of hash, shatter, crumble, and dab rigs. The 2015 incarnation boasts competition for both extracts and glass blowing, plus an impressive music lineup that includes hip-hop heavyweights like Action Bronson, Busta Rhymes, and the Farrakide. I can't pronounce it. Chalice will also hold a Bevy of vendors ready to take care of all of your dabbing needs, with notable companies such as Hitman Glass, D-Nail, and Evil already confirmed. If that wasn't enough, Chalice also promises an expansive glass-blowing village where attendants can meet and greet their favorite artists and treat themselves to personally custom-blown glassware. Chalice, California hits Southern California. NOS Event Center, July 11th and 12th. Tickets are available now. So maybe we should go watch some glass blowing. Should shoot for this event. That way you can see your interest. Son might be interested in glass blowing. Sure. You burn the heck out of yourself, I think. I don't know. Be interesting to try. I'd like to try. We can both try. Maybe it would be nice if you could, we could try it. Here's a place you could try it. See if you like it. Sign this release. If you burn yourself, it's not our fault. This is a really super astute, interesting story, idea. The cannabis industry is truly begging to be disrupted by the cryptocurrency. Interview with Mary Jane Coyne. Nice drawing, too. Coyne Telegraph spoke to Mary Jane Coyne developer Gabriel Baralini, aka Ja Vinci. That's a good one. I like that one. To get an inside look at the new marijuana-backed altcoin at its disruptive potential. At its disruptive potential, and it is and at the changes facing the cannabis industry. Learn to read. Mary Jane Coyne is a cryptocurrency tailored for the cannabis economy, which each coin is backed by 1 gram of cannabis bubble hash concentrate product. It was created in response to the problem of banks being unwilling to work with the nascent industry. I don't know. That could facilitate transactions, wages, payments, and provide other opportunities for businesses in states where medicinal and recreational cannabis is legal. I'm sure I know what incessant must be. The end of prohibition is going to coincide very nicely with the rise of Bitcoin. Now that's really the headline that grabbed me, that quote. That is, let's think about that. They're right. The bank's not dealing with the marijuana dispensaries is creating an opportunity for innovation. And innovation is big business's worst enemy. Why would banks must be incredibly dysfunctional to allow an atmosphere of opportunity to be created like that? They must not take it as a real threat. Or they're just stupid. I don't know. Why did you create MJ Coyne? Gabrielle Berlini, Mary Jane Coyne, was created out of a perfect storm of necessity and technology, with the current banking system unwilling to work with dispensaries owners in states like Colorado and Washington. Mary Jane was created to fill in the gap with electronic payments. The push towards full-scale legalization continues. More and more people are starting to work in the cannabis industry. Dispensary owners are looking to provide their employees with normalized wage payments, preferably not in cash. There are a lot of risks to have large amounts of cash on hand, and frankly, it's a pain in the ass. We want to be able to pay our employees electronically, That's where the beauty of this cryptocurrency comes in. Now, I know a lot of the pitfalls with cryptocurrency is you can buy these bitcoins and then they're worth nothing, But it's like any other currency. It's based on a commodity that is valuable, and that is marijuana. And we all know that these stupid prohibition laws have made marijuana worth more than money. Worth more than, which would you rather have, a bag of weed, or would you rather have, $10 or $20? Because I could probably make more happen in my life with a bag of weed than $20. I could eat at McDonald's with $20. With a bag of weed, I get myself invited over for a nice dinner and have a really good time. Oh, you get some weed? Come on over, man. We're cooking. The weed economy. Anyway, I'm not pushing that company's Bitcoin or the idea of Bitcoin. It did occur to me that banks are creating an atmosphere for innovation. And that just seems like if you were running a bank, why'd you do that? Okay, safe landing for ISS crew. Good news are some of the ISS crew members returned to Earth. A 3-member crew departed the International Space Station on Thursday, June 11th, after more than 6 months in space. The Soyuz spacecraft was carrying NASA's astronaut Terry Virts, Samantha Cristoforetti of the European Space Agency, ESA, and Anton Shkaplerov. I'm so sorry, I can't say Shkaplerov. Roscoe Mosomos. I don't know what that is. I'm trying to say it. Undocked. I am so sorry. Undocked from the International Space Station, they landed at Kazakhstan. That one I can say. At Euronews, we believe in the intelligence of our viewers, and we think that the mission of the news channel is to deliver facts without any. Why am I reading that? We also think that sometimes images need no explanation or a commentary, which is why we created no comments. No, what is this? An ad? Why is that there? Okay. Well, there it is, that they returned to Earth. I don't know what all that other stuff is. And I thought that was really great. And I want to show you. I think maybe this is not a video. See there's no gravity? See how they're bouncing around? They're trying to hug. Okay. Look at their hair. Look at this. I want you to see. I can't even hardly get their bodies together. So now they're leaving.
Wishing each other out from an external camera on the International Space Station.
Okay, let's stop right there. They want to do a porn in space. Yeah, I just wanted to point that out. I saw that there was a report that somebody wanted to do a porn in space. I want you to see these people floating around with their hair sticking up like a doll's wig. Okay? And think very carefully about porn in space, okay? Look, get over yourself. There's not going to be basketball in space. There's not going to be football. It's another thing about Star Trek. They're all walking around on the deck of the ship. There's gravity everywhere. Gravity apparently is very easy to manufacture, and it's super cheap. It's ridiculous. There's not going to be gravity. Well, I thought it was great that the international crew was able to land safely, and they looked so healthy and everything. But when they were landing, and they showed how just completely they had to be helped like children, like couldn't even stand. They had to carry them out, and this where they're hugging, they're trying to explode in there, and bounce off the walls. I went, they want to do a porn in space? That's just what occurred to me. Let's think about that. Let's try to imagine what that's going to be like. I don't think it's going to be as sexy as you might imagine. Porn in space. Think about that one. I don't think that's a good idea. That's like football in space. Football on the moon. Shh. There it goes. It never came down. It's still circling the moon. Out for a pass. Shh. There it goes. No one ever caught it. Colorado retail pot sales level off in April, but taxes for schools see surge. While Colorado's medical and recreational marijuana sales held steady in April, the state's pot taxes, earmarked for school construction capital, reached an all-time high that month. After 4 consecutive months of record-setting growth, recreational pot sales in Colorado leveled off in April 2015, while the pot taxes earmarked for schools construction capital reached an all-time high that month, according to new Department of Revenue data. Around 42.4 million of recreational pot was sold in Colorado in April, down from 42.7 million in March. The first decline in retail marijuana sales in the states in 5 months. Meanwhile, April's medical sales, which totaled 31.9 million in Colorado's dispensaries, were nearly identical to March's tally. One April statistic set an all-time record in Colorado's historic recreational marijuana era. The excess taxes collected from school construction capital, more than 3.1 million, were raised via the excise tax on wholesale marijuana transfers in April, up from the previous record of 2.6 million set in March. These monthly taxes earmarked for schools had never topped 2 million in 2014, but they've already raised more than 10 million in the first 4 months of 2015, compared to only, and down now, to only 13.3 million in all of 2014. It's really good to see the excise tax increasing and providing needed money to public schools construction fund, said Christian I'm not going to try it. A partner at the cannabis-focused Denver law firm Vincent Suburb something, and one of the authors of Colorado's legalizing Amendment 64. Over time, as this number goes up, it will get closer to that annualized number of 40 million, which was dedicated to that fund. The 40 million figure is in question is an annual amount of excise tax revenue promised by Amendment 64 for the state school construction fund. A major selling point in convincing voters in 2012, when that specific tax raised only 13 million in 2014, a result of lower than expected sales and loopholes that allowed retailers a one-time tax-free transfer of wholesale pot. Some voters and legalization critics question the something of the promised amount. The tragedy, I don't know. But if future months are equal to April's figures, the fund will set at around 35 million when the calendar turns to 2016. If the monthly excise tax number continues to grow throughout 2015, the fund could legitimately reach the 40 million mark. Either way, the taxes being raised for school construction in Colorado are going up and not down, and legalization supporters say that's good news. Yeah, that's really good news. and I can tell you exactly how this will play out. You'll have teachers, you'll have a conference, right? You'll have a teachers conference in Colorado. And people from all over, teachers from all over the states will go to this conference, or from another state will go to this conference, and they'll get to talk to teachers from Colorado that will simply explain how things work there and how it's working out for them, the good and the bad and the truth and the ugly and all that kind of stuff. And then they'll go home to their, local school districts and go, they have big, huge new buildings, while our stuff is rotting brick. That's what's going to happen. That's like one of the most fun things to do at these conferences is to go and talk to people from other districts and find out what their districts are like and the horror stories and the good news and stuff. It's neat. So that's really exciting. Colorado getting lots of tax money for their schools. Why pot shops will be selling cheap weed on this one fall day. Because of it. Customers won't be the only ones saving money. Businesses, too, will save big on cannabis transfers from grows to shops. You've already read news that Colorado repealed sales tax on marijuana for one day only, on September 16th, because of a quirk in the state's constitution. But what does that mean for you, the consumer? Well, will you save money at the register? And how long will it take some of these businesses to adopt September 16, 2015 as their own holiday of sorts, with additional discounts and promotions? Big weed sales are already in the pipeline. Multiple shops confirmed this week to the Cannabist that customers will soon be wading through the discount of promotions just like they were on Black Friday in 2014. Just hearing about it, my mind's going, I gotta do a 420 type promotion for that day, said Rubin, owner of the Colorado rooted Starbuzz pot shop, who learned about the state's pot tax holiday when called for the story. Any chance to drive business and expose new people to Starbuzz brand is a phenomenal opportunity for us. And it's great for the consumers as well because it allows them to take advantage of the savings on this particular day. With the pot tax holiday more than 3 months away, Rubin said it was way too soon to say what his shop's specials will be, but there will be deals, he promised, and his promotions won't be the only ones. Go down there. Hearing news puts a big smile on my face because it's a great opportunity to save money on the transfer tax. It's also a great opportunity to capture a new market share as customers come in and save at the register as well. Rubin said Starbuzz has its own cultivation center, and that's the part of business that saves money on the transfer tax. But we're vertically integrated, so I get to save on both ends. So that's what's going on with the taxes. See, and when the taxes are too high on anything, you're creating a black market, So, but you're also helping schools and stuff. It's been like a kind of a fight to get that. Where is the right place for these taxes to be? Well, they're still be doing good things and won't be punishing people and making it more difficult and make money, make people's lives better with freedom and health. What are we doing here? Ambrose outraged by SCC's marijuana ruling. Okay, apparently Ambrose is this lady that you see with the frowny face right there. What does it say? Something protecting Canadians. She's protecting Canadians. Look at her. My son's laughing. Look at her with her pink jacket. She's protecting Canadians. It's like mission accomplished. I bet you're not protecting Canadians. I bet it's the exact opposite of whatever it says behind you. Mission accomplished. We're getting the hell out of here. We didn't do anything. Health Minister Rona Ambrose says she is outraged by the Supreme Court of Canada's decision that expands the definition of medical marijuana beyond dried leaves to include cannabis oils, teas, brownies, and other forms of the drug. My God, teas and brownies are to save us. In a unanimous decision Thursday, the Supreme Court ruled that users should not be restricted to only using the dried form of the drug. They said the current rules prevent people from a legitimate need for medical marijuana from choosing a method of ingestion that avoids the potential harm of smoking it. Ambrose says despite current court rulings in favor of the use of marijuana, her government maintains that cannabis has never been proven safe and effective as a medicine. Never! Never! Oh, do they hear themselves? It's just so funny. Marijuana has never gone through the regulatory approval process at Health Canada because we wouldn't, because it's probably against the law like it is here in the United States to do that, which requires rigorous safety reviews and clinical trials and scientific evidence, which probably the government completely blocked. But never mind that. Frankly, I'm outraged by the Supreme Court. Your outrage is so fun to watch. We have this message that normalizes a drug where there is no clear clinical evidence that it is quite unique a medicine, she said, adding that never in Canada's history has a drug become a medicine because judges deemed it so. It is I, the women in pink jackets, the gatekeepers at the head of government. We are the ones you must bring your sacrifices to so that we can beseech our God to rain favorably upon your crops. Fucking gatekeeper, voodoo queen, witch doctor. Get out of here, witch doctor. Your show is over. Take your rattles and your costume and go home. Arg was your children. Okay. So that's all my news stories for this morning. I thought the end one was so funny where she was all mad. I'm outraged. Outraged. It has never been. We need some music in the background. Bomb, 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 bomb. Never. Okay, please remember the first story I reported on about the police officers. How concerned I am how concerned we all should be. That you're just creating an opportunity, an atmosphere for people to become criminals. Because you're lacing the situation with temptation, and then you're just turning back and walking away and trusting, and why if you put me in that situation, I go, well, it's not like they care. It's not like they want me to break all the cameras. So I could do whatever I want. It's clearly a message I could do whatever I want. Why should they? Why should we be mad at them for doing that? We created the circumstances under which they're operating. It's our fault. We made stupid rules, and now we have a big stupid mess. If we don't fix it, it's just going to linger. Be a problem. Like now I get to smoke that bowl after I read my stories. Let's see. I'm at an hour and 10 minutes. Wow, and I tried to barrel through. Did some talking, but I tried to barrel through all that. Trying not to make these things too long. So now I'm going to spend some time with my family this morning before they go off to work. So you have a good day, happy Friday, have a good weekend, and you stay high. Goodbye.